And welcome back to another episode of the Ball Watchers podcast. I am your host, Evan Blues, alongside my co host, Joseph Muto. Joseph, how are you doing today? I'm great. I'm great. We're almost there. It's almost break time. Well, for you it is break time. For me, I'm in the trenches right now, but we've got to pump out an episode. We've got lots to talk about today. I'm excited to be here, Joseph. Thanks, man. I'll just leave the room halfway through. Go take a nap. It's my bedtime almost. But we'll get right into it. Let's do it, Joseph. Last week, another great week of games. I feel like we've just been stacking up some great weeks. I feel like earlier in the season, there's definitely some duds, not a lot of interesting games. We definitely struggled a few weeks to pick what we wanted to talk about, but the last few weeks, an abundance of games of interest. So we'll kick it off last Thursday, Joseph. The Cowboys. They've been on a roll, but the Lions just put them in the dirt. Yeah, I really liked Dan Campbell stealing from Ben Johnson's playbook there. Shout out Ben Solak for this. I think he was the one who talked about it, or at least some of it. But there's a play last week. I think we'll see this a lot more. Actually, it's one of those plays where I think it really negates some of the stuff that we've been seeing on the defense with these you don't know who's blitzing, but you have the entire line running a zone blocking scheme one way, and then the running back just cuts the other way wide open. And we saw that work fantastically against the Eagles. The Bears ran it, and then Dan Campbell runs it on Thursday night for some big games. I think Montgomery's touchdown was a play like that. So you love to see that. And yeah, I mean, I think both of these teams, the Lions are just that upper tier of the middle class of the NFL, in my opinion, right now. And they can really lay a beat down to these mid-level, not fully complete teams. I mean, the Packers are a bit more complete. They have a better defense and they shut the Lions down a bit more. But then the Cowboys, their secondary especially is atrocious, and you saw that on display. No one could keep up with them on Ross St. Brown. No one could keep up with Jameer Gibbs out of the backfield, Jamison Williams. So I think that I still do not trust the Lions against the higher levels of competition, but they are more than capable of laying a beat down to any of these lower level teams. I think they played the Bucks and beat them earlier in the year, right? Like it's the same thing. They're the best of those middle teams, and they're definitely a team who can get hot and make plays in the playoffs, but they just can't stay healthy, man. Brian Branch tears his Achilles in this game, and that's a huge loss for their defense. You're just starting to get people back. DJ Reed played in this game, but you lose a guy like Brian Branch, who I really think was the heart of that secondary, especially. And I think that's tough going forward. But they put themselves in such a good spot to make the playoffs by winning this game. They're still going to have to fight. I mean, they're going to be fighting with the Bears. They're going to be fighting with the Packers. They're going to be fighting with the 49ers. And even like whichever, basically between the NFC North and the NFC West, whichever teams don't win the division, they're all going to be battling for those wild card spots. So it's going to be a scrap still. The Lions could easily miss the playoffs, but at the same time, the Lions could miss the playoffs and win 11 games. So I don't think it's like a negative necessarily, but yeah, we also see the Cowboys completely come back to earth in this game. I mean, this offense, like Dak, in my opinion, has to be in MVP conversations at this point, Joseph. He'll be back. Yeah. What did you think of the George Pickens, Richard Sherman thing? Yeah, I agree. Oh, 100%. I thought his Instagram story was so funny. Like just telling Richard Sherman how terrible he was once he left Seattle, which I don't even think I didn't Richard Sherman make an all-pro team with San Francisco? He was bad in the Super Bowl, I remember. That the year the Chiefs won. But I swear the year before that I swear he made the all-pro team. Like he was not that bad. And like George Pickens, you have how many all-pros? Exactly. No all pros. And yeah, it's a little ridiculous. I mean, I feel like he's definitely found a bit more of his spot in Dallas just because they're such a high flying offense and like he actually gets targets, but I mean, then you see it in this game where maybe he wasn't as featured as you've seen in previous weeks and he just doesn't care anymore and it's a bit of an issue, especially when the Cowboys defense is so bad and there's just nothing going on there. But yeah, the Cowboys, I think moved down to like a 9% playoff chance or chance of making the playoffs. The Lions keep it at about 50%. So a really big win for the Lions. Let's move on here to the next game. The Pittsburgh Steelers, Joseph, your Pittsburgh Steelers, they managed to get a win here. They maybe benefit from some more bad Ravens luck, but they lead the AFC North right now.
to me, it wasn't like, oh, the Steelers' offense is back. It's just they repeated the cycle over and over again in hopes that the Ravens wouldn't be able to adjust, and they would, and they didn't. So that's why they won the game, in my opinion. I thought Lamar had a really good game, not the greatest game, but a really good game for Lamar. He bounced back after some gruesome weeks over the last couple of weeks. He gets a rushing touchdown in this game as well. So you love to see that and have Lamar utilize his legs, but it's just like my opinion on both of these teams hasn't really changed at all. Like these teams still have major holes, and this was a big time win for the Steelers to beat out the Ravens and take firm grasp of the AFC North. But regardless of who wins this division, I don't see them winning a playoff game just because there are still a lot of holes on both teams that I just don't like from a football perspective.
100%. I think regardless of how the rest of this season shakes out, whoever plays the winner of this division, like free win, honestly. Like maybe the Ravens put up a fight, maybe the Steelers put up a fight, but I just like it feels like a cupcake to whatever wild card team ends up playing them. So, yeah, I don't know. I feel like there's so much wrong with the Ravens right now. It just feels like the vibes are wrong. The interior of that offensive line outside of Tyler Linderbaum has been terrible this year. Lamar's under a ton of pressure. And I mean, like the fact that they just don't have an alpha wide receiver one just comes up week in week and week over and over again. Like it's just so apparent. Like Zay Flowers is not that guy, and like Likely has been making plays and stuff. Mark Andrews just got a new contract. Like they have guys who make plays, but they don't have a dominant outside receiver, and you need someone out there. So like they really have to figure that out. I think going forward because Lamar needs someone he can trust downfield. And honestly, like at this point, Hollywood Brown leaving, like he was by far their best receiver. I feel like they've had in the last like 8 years at least. Like it's insane to think about that because like he at least gave them someone who took the top off. They just don't have a receiver who does that. They don't have a guy who you can trust play in and play out. But overall, like I mean, the Ravens have been horribly unlucky the last 2 weeks. In my opinion, that was 100% a touchdown by Isaiah Likely. I do not understand how that was not a touchdown. And then last week with the what Isaiah Likely fumbled it out of the end zone, or no, one of them fumbled it out of the end zone. One of them maybe should have been a catch. Like there was just rough luck from this Ravens team, but it just feels like behind the scenes there's a lot of issues. I mean, there's reports coming out that Justin Madubuike is retiring and that there's players on the team who want Harbaugh fired. Like they have a lot of issues. Their defense is not what it used to be. It just feels like they're kind of sliding down from their peak right now.
It's really sad because the AFC is wide open to me. Like the Ravens could have firm grasp on this conference, especially when the Chiefs are out, and to have them slip as well is really bad for football because they have the most electric player in the entire league in Lamar Jackson, and you're just wasting it on like bad locker room vibes. It's not even a lack of talent. The talent is there. It's just they don't mesh well. So it'll be really interesting to see. And yes, I agree. That is 100% a catch. It's been a catch in the history of the NFL. Like Jesse James with my Steelers against the Patriots, that's a catch. Des Bryant in the playoffs against the Packers, like that's a catch. Like once those 2 feet are set and the receiver has full control of the football, it's done. Like I don't want to see them go to the ground or take 3 steps. Like the NFL needs to know, like as soon as they're in the end zone, they're out of play. Like the play is over.
It
It's
broke
not.
the plane. He had possession.
Yeah, it's not like the guy is going to make a catch on the sideline and he's still in bounds in like hopes to keep running. Like the play's done. He doesn't need the touchdown anymore. He doesn't need to go deeper. Once it crosses the plane, like Evan said, it's 100% a catch. So the NFL really has to look at that because they're trying to make things complicated when it's really not. And the fact that this has been going on for like a decade now is really sad because it's clearly a touchdown and the rule is absolutely stupid that you have to have full control when you go to the ground or you have to take 3 steps. Like
But he had that's the thing that doesn't make any sense. He had two hands on the ball, 2 feet down in the end zone. Like, I don't understand the logic because it's like you can make a catch on the sideline, even if you're in the end zone, 2 feet down, and then you step out of bounds, and that counts as a catch. But 2 feet down, and then he dropped the ball, I guess, but 2 feet down, two hands on the ball's not going anywhere, but he didn't step out of bounds, so it's not a catch. Like it doesn't make any sense. The logic is not there. It's ridiculous. Yeah, I don't know. But I feel like the Ravens and the Steelers feel destined to split this season series. However, it was going to go, to be honest. Like, I don't know. This is going to, like, come down to the wire of two teams, and, like, whichever one ends at, like, 9-8 is probably going to make the playoffs here. Like, neither of these teams feel great to me. But, like, at the same time, you got to feel better about the Steelers at this point. Like, if they can get that Aaron Rodgers, DK Metcalf connection going, it feels like they might have some juice on offense. I know. For your sake, man, I hope so. I hope so. And at this point, it's not like the Ravens are going to be that much more interesting in the playoffs. So, all right, next game here, the Jacksonville Jaguars. They break Daniel Jones' fibula. Now, he did it to himself, kind of, but or no, not his fibula. They tore his Achilles, but that's not the point of this. They just absolutely manhandled the Colts in this game, regardless of the Daniel Jones situation, and they have a very firm grasp on the AFC South at the moment. But the Texans are still coming up hot on their heels, Joseph.
I don't feel the AFC South anymore. You know, if this was probably the most surefire division for the Colts to win before the trade deadline. They get Sauce and everything's looking good, and then all of a sudden it's just it could be anything.
Everything's falling apart, man.
Yeah, as much as I don't want to say like shitted on Daniel Jones' name, but you know, everyone was saying, "Oh, Jonathan Taylor's the reason," but Daniel Jones was a had a more bigger impact on this team than I think a lot of people anticipated, and it's just completely falling apart because Daniel Jones and Jonathan Taylor complement each other so well that the defense is on their heels and they don't know what to do. The defense knows exactly what's coming now. Jonathan Taylor's going to get the football, you're going to stack the box, and the quarterback can't throw because he's injured like Daniel Jones was, or he's out of this game, and you bring in a backup, and the guy doesn't know the playbook, and he's shaking in his boots because the Jaguars have like a lot of guys who can create turnovers on the back end. So it's just tough to see for the Colts and for the Jaguars. Like I don't know, I still am very skeptical of this team. Trevor Lawrence looked okay in this game, not great. They run the football very inconsistently. Jacoby Myers is their number one. Like is this team actually a 9-4 team? To me, no, because their defense isn't great. It just creates a lot of turnovers, and that's what makes them great. It's not like they're getting three and outs after three and outs on the defensive side and then giving the ball to the Jaguars and then just running it down defense's throats and taking like 8 minutes off of possession and getting a touchdown from it. It's not the case. Like Trevor Lawrence is still turning the football over, very inaccurate with his throws. I don't know what to think of this 9-4 team, honestly. I think this is also a cupcake wild card team where I'm looking at teams like the Bills and the Chargers who are probably going to get the wild card spots, and you're going up against teams like the Jaguars and the Steelers. Those are very easy matchups for two teams who are very experienced in the playoffs. So if you're the Jacksonville Jaguars, I think they're riding too high right now. Like they are, oh, we're 9-4, like everyone's underrating us. I think you're properly rated. I don't think you deserve to be at 9-4, and I think it's really going to show come January time when you go up against fully healthy teams who are experienced and know how to beat you.
Yeah, they give Bears vibes, honestly. Like they very similar teams, but I think the Bears are honestly better because I think they're more consistent. But I think part of it is like, but with both the Bears and the Jaguars, like their head coaches are just great, and I think that if nothing else, this just proves that Liam Cohen was a good hire. There's definitely still issues there. I don't think Trevor Lawrence is a long term solution at quarterback. There are definitely some holes. They're a very confusing team, but at the same time, like when they get hot, they get hot. And then this was one of those games where they really just destroyed the Colts, and it wasn't even close. Like, honestly, I feel like this loss is a lot more on the Colts defense than it is on the fact that Daniel Jones got injured. And I mean, the Colts have definitely looked a lot worse this last month, but at the same time, this basically like this stretch of play, and Daniel Jones has definitely come back to earth a little bit and not been as good. But that like I feel like 100% correlates with this injury, and I can't imagine it's easy to throw a football when you're trying to load all of your power through your legs when it probably hurts like hell to even plant through that leg. So like I'm not surprised that it just makes sense. Like it correlates with that Daniel Jones injury, and it's really unfortunate because he was playing great before that. But I think we really also saw something that maybe wasn't as talked about early in the season, that the Colts defense is not as good as maybe we thought it was earlier in the season. Like they just do not get stops the same way that maybe you would expect of a true contender. And I think that that's another maybe one of those holes with this team. And like bringing in Sauce Gardner, we both thought would fix a lot of those issues just because you're bringing in a guy to play across from Charvarius Ward. I mean, part of the issue is Charvarius Ward has barely been able to play this year. I think he suffered 3 concussions, unfortunately, this year. So injuries have definitely been a part of it, and they're definitely still a part of it for this Colts team. And I mean, the biggest thing for me at this point is just Daniel Jones' future is completely up in the air, and I think the Colts are back at square one at quarterback at the moment.
He starts at all next season. So he's on a 1 year deal, and if the Colts still want to take a risk on it, it's tough because they're going to have a lower draft pick. And I mean, they even gave up their first round pick to the Jets, so never mind on that theory. It's going to be really tough and interesting to see. And going forward with Philip Rivers, like I know the well is very slim because you're past the trade deadline and there's not a lot of people to pick from the pool. I mean, Anthony Richardson's hurt as well. Riley Leonard's a little bit banged up, so you have either Philip Rivers or Tyler Warren. So I guess it wasn't good, but I mean, you got Andrew Luck there. I would have loved to seen Andrew Luck come back. At least I would
Cam Newton.
to see played for you before, and I think he's a little bit younger than Philip Rivers,
Barely.
barely, but maybe has a little bit more juice.
Played more recently at the very least.
It's just a sad story for Philip. I mean, not for Philip Rivers, but just for the Colts. Like this is their last resort, and good for Philip for coming out of retirement. I was never a big fan of Philip Rivers, even as a kid. I didn't really like him, but he's been there before 5 years ago. I know, but they have to do something, and I think Philip Rivers at least gives them a fighting chance. It's a very, very slim chance, but the Colts are so desperately trying to salvage an incredible start to the season. It's falling in their hands. They can do nothing about it, and this is very sad for to me one of the best teams in the NFL this year. Just some of what they put on tape over the first 8 weeks of the season.
Yeah, I don't know. I honestly, I mean, we'll probably talk about it more in the offseason, but you've seen Aaron Rodgers and Kirk Cousins come back from those Achilles injuries. Like they were not the same player that year right after the Achilles injury. Like Aaron Rodgers looks completely different than he did last year with the Jets. Kirk Cousins got benched because of how bad he was doing. Like, I mean, he's not looking that good this year either, but I mean, obviously he's quite a bit younger than those two guys, but there is that concern. Like, I honestly do not I feel like there's a very real chance he does not sign with the team at all next season and he comes back 2 years from now. Like it's terrible timing because of how late it is into the season. And I mean, teams have had recent like we've everyone in the NFL has seen the most two recent quarterbacks come back from this Achilles injury, and it doesn't look pretty. Like I feel like at this point, maybe a team signs him just to have him for the year after, but I don't think you can trust him as a starter next season, like at all. So, and I mean, for the Colts, the Philip Rivers thing, it is what it is. Like there really wasn't any options. I don't know what else you could do. Like I don't like Andrew Luck was a guy who was never coming back. Like if he was coming back, he already would have come back. And then it's like, yeah, pick whatever color analyst you want who used to play quarterback. Like they could come back. Philip Rivers. I don't even know. I'm surprised. Like, yeah, Drew Brees also. I feel like could have been one of those guys. Like, there's a couple out there at this, but like Tom Brady. Oh my God. Yeah, it's just like I guess at that point, yeah, I don't even know. I'm trying to. I can't even think of like free agents off the top of my head. But at that point, like all of them are gonna play bad. It doesn't really matter. So yeah, it just like it kind of is what it is with Philip Rivers. He's not gonna be mobile at all in the pocket. This is kind of fun. I feel like it's fun. It's a fun storyline for this Colts team, but like I guess, oh man, it's just hard to think about too because you're like, is he actually gonna play the next like 5 games, or is he gonna play this game and then Riley Leonard will come back next week?
Think they gotta play the Jaguars again? They gotta play the
I think
Jaguars.
so.
Next week, like it's a brutal schedule, bro.
I think they play the 49ers too. Like Philip Rivers, man. Jeez. I mean, good luck. It's kind of fun. Maybe they'll like sneak in one of his sons. They'll just pretend it was Philip Rivers. I don't know. But we'll talk more about the Colts in the preview. Their season, though, is very much hanging on by a thread because at this point, again, the AFC is just too competitive, especially in the wild card. Like, they're very much at this point, I think, not going to make the playoffs. I don't think they really have a chance because they're going to probably lose again this week, and then I don't know where the losing stops at this point, to be honest. All right, two more games here. The Packers, they win at the buzzer. Interception from Keyshawn Nixon seals the deal at the end of the game. Caleb Williams underthrows Cole Kmet in the end zone. But this was a great game.
Just think the Bears have a lot more problems than just Caleb Williams. He is a problem. Like that was a terrible throw on 4th and 1, but he just couldn't get to the edge off of Micah Parsons. I thought
I
Parsons
hate that call too, to be honest.
Yeah, I hate it too. Just run the ball. And I know it's tough, and I know you want to like play action off it, catch the defense off guard, but it's just stupid. Like quarterbacks sneak it, run the football. Like you have the best interior offensive line in football. Like just do it. So, anyways, I just think that defense was a big problem for Chicago. Jordan Love was just slinging it, and he always slings it against the Bears, and especially during Toyota Con. But Jordan Love loves playing against the Chicago Bears, and he was utilizing Christian Watson, like you said last week, Evan, in a big time way, and just that deep threat presence is second to none. And you get Jayden Reed back; he gets a couple touches, and it just makes that defense think about it a little bit more. And I think Jayden Reed is a very inconsistent wide receiver, but he is a good gadget wide receiver who can make the defense get on their toes and really think about all the underneath stuff that's going on in the Packers offense. And I just think that opens up so much for Christian Watson and Romeo Dobbs. And I just love this passing attack that I've seen over the last couple weeks against with the Packers. Yes, it's been up against really bad passing defenses in the Lions and the Bears, but at the same time, you're winning these big time division matchups and you're winning them in style with your quarterback. So Jordan Love is on a hot streak. He's on a really good tear going into January, and you still have one of the best running backs in the league in Josh Jacobs. So for the Packers, I think you have firm grasp on this division. Just go and take it. And I think that this is the momentum that I've been looking for the Packers. They're finally showing me a little bit of life, especially in the passing attack. And that defense is absolutely incredible, and it has been all year. So the Packers finally are showing me a little bit more life. I'm not buying in just yet because of the level of competition that they've gone up against, especially with the defenses. But this is a team who has all the momentum in the world right now and should be seen as a very elite team right now.
They play the Bears in 2 weeks. We'll see what happens. I mean, this is a close game. I think both teams, you can come out of this game feeling okay. I mean, it's tough for the Bears. They fall from first in their division to seventh. They're still in the playoffs at the moment, but definitely a tough loss. They're fighting with the Lions still for that last wild card spot there. But I mean, for me, it's just like Caleb Williams truly, like it is, I don't know, man. I hate to say it, but like he truly is a problem right now for this team. And I'm not even referring necessarily to that throw. Like, yes, it was a bad throw. And I honestly put that in my opinion, I think that's more on the play call. Like, just run the damn football. Like, I get it that on the play before that, you got absolutely stuffed, but like you said, just they have the best interior line in the league. You just have to run the ball in that situation. It's 1 yard. You're gonna get it. But like his completion percentage this year is 57%. Like it's below 60%. And I looked back this afternoon. Jared Goff in the 2 years with Ben Johnson had like a 70% completion percentage and a 67% completion percentage. Like this is not a Ben Johnson offense thing. This is a Caleb Williams thing. He's so inaccurate, and that's something you have to fix. I mean, you look at guys like Josh Allen. This was a huge issue for Josh Allen early in his career. Like he was so inaccurate. He had such a low completion percentage, turning the ball over a ton, and he like fixed it and he got way more accurate. And the turnovers have died down. And Caleb Williams doesn't turn the ball over, but like that is an absurdly low and like terribly low completion percentage. Like that is unacceptable, I think, for someone like Caleb Williams, who's a starting quarterback on a 9-3 team right now, like or 9-4 team. Like it's ridiculous. He has to figure that out because I mean, just what can you do? I mean, it just kills Ben Johnson's offense at that point. Like he is scheming people open. He's a great offensive mind, and Caleb Williams can't get the ball to him. Like I don't know what else this team's supposed to do, and the run game's saving them so far this season.
He's this big time gunslinger who's going to have a low
Yeah, he's not Jameis Winston.
Yeah, no, exactly. He's not score a 60-yard touchdown. Like he is going to work the intermediate and the short stuff. And it's not also like these wide receivers can't get open. Like DJ Moore is a savvy veteran who can always get open.
He had like what I feel like it was like 4 or 5 years in a row with 1,000 yards.
He's Mr. Consistent when it comes to the wide receiver position, and he's just like lost in this offense. And Romo Dunze is the biggest one because Caleb Williams does not throw the deep ball, and that's exactly where Romo makes his money. Like in Washington, he was the best 50-50 ball college player, one of the best I've ever seen in my life. Like he could go up against any corner and just moss them, and you never see that with Romo Dunze. He's like catching screen passes. It's like first year JSN all over again. I'm watching, and it's just it's really sad to see because you've seen Caleb make the out of structure plays, and he just wants to make sure that those wide receivers are completely open, but you don't have time to do that in the NFL. And when that's the case, you have to be accurate and trust your accuracy and make throws in tight windows. And he just refuses to do it. And sure, he's not turning the football over, but there's way too many incompletions. Balls are sailing over heads and going out of bounds. And he looks scared out there. And it's just, you can't play like that if you're an NFL quarterback. You see it too many times. So this offense looks really good because they can run the football, not because of Caleb Williams, and that's really going to hurt them when teams shut down that run game. And I thought Green Bay did a pretty good job of that for the majority of this game. So we see it end in a loss because Caleb just can't win the football games on his own.
Yeah. I mean, his longest completion 65 yards this year, or longest pass. Like that's not that good. And also, yeah, and that was a absolute fluke. Like that was not like he threw that ball 50 yards in the air. Like you never see that. And it's just everything else has been fixed. Like I mean, I'm just thinking back to that debate right now. Like Caleb Williams, he's only been sacked 20 times. He's not putting up insane stat numbers. He's only turned the ball over 6 times. This Bears team is winning games, but like he just doesn't actually look any better at throwing the football. And that's a huge concern because especially against teams like the Packers and teams who are legitimate playoff teams, like you have to have your quarterback win you some of these games and he just doesn't feel like that. I mean, he had 189 yards in this game. It wasn't like he put up 300 yards and threw a touchdown. Like he didn't even have 200 yards. So I think that it is a real concern. And I'm still someone who I feel like believes in Caleb Williams, but I mean, that completion percentage is abysmal. He hasn't had a completion percentage. I was just looking back, I think, over the last 5 games, and none of them his completion percentage was higher than 56. Like, it's bad. You should be at even I feel like 60 is below average at this point. Like at least 60, bare minimum 60, and he doesn't even hit that like bare minimum threshold. So that's got to change because I know Ben like you know it's not Ben Johnson. So he's got to figure that out and it's a big concern, but I will say it was a great game and I'm very excited for next or 2 weeks from now. All right, final game here. The Chargers. Justin Herbert, even with his broken hand, somehow runs for 66 yards, and the Chargers win in overtime on a absolutely ridiculous interception by Tony Jefferson.
Holy, what a
Feels like it is 7 years ago. Philip Rivers is back. Tony Jefferson making plays.
crazy
He
stuff.
was a scout last year, man. He was literally, I think he was a scout. He was a scout for either the Chargers or the Ravens last year.
It's crazy. But this game was like the most boring overtime game I've ever seen in my life. It was a weird game, and I think the Chargers just it they showed up and they showed out defensively. Like they didn't give Jalen Hurts anywhere to go with the football. He looked completely lost. Two turnovers in one play is never happened in NFL history.
Hilarious.
It's so funny watching that back. It was just such a it was like a circus act. Like you're watching everyone going around the circuit. Anyways, yeah, the Chargers defense, they don't have the flashiest names, but they are just well coached and they know how to make their opponent's quarterback look lost out there, and that's exactly what Jalen Hurts did. He's a savvy veteran, but he just had nowhere to go with the football, and it was really tough. I mean, even with Saquon Barkley breaking out that incredible run on that fake tush push, which I think that's a play that needs to happen more often. Is that fake tush push? It's very lethal, especially when you have everyone crowded at the line of scrimmage. But you even have that play, and just nothing can happen for this Philadelphia Eagles offense. And it's really sad because even the Chargers offense couldn't get going. I think Lad McConkey led the wide receivers with receiving yards of like 18. And outside of that kind of Monty Vidal reception that went for big time yardage, there was no passing offense to be found. I think Justin Herbert barely had over 100 yards. So the Chargers give you every opportunity, and the Eagles just couldn't come back. They bit themselves in the foot way too many times. They kept turning the football over, and they kept trying to force feed AJ Brown. He gets 100 yards again in this game, and they lose. So, I mean, I guess the recipe is get AJ Brown less than 100 yards, and you're going to win the football game. But it's just there's way too many plays for this Eagles. I think they're in their own head. Lane Johnson not being there is massive, and it's really, really hurting them. So, yeah, we've said this so many times about the Eagles. They're 8-5, and they don't look like an 8-5 team, and they don't look like the defending Super Bowl champs.
The meltdown's coming, man. It's I think Sirianni's gone. He's especially. I mean, they will probably make the playoffs just because the rest of their division is horrendous. But outside of the Cowboys, but Cowboys even I don't like they would base the Cowboys would basically have to win out, and I think the Eagles would have to lose out for the Cowboys to make it. So it's unlikely. The Eagles also I think play Washington twice in the next 2 weeks, so they have some cupcakes on the schedule as well. But like, I mean the Jalen Hurts rushing thing. I just pulled up the numbers here. Like the last okay, I'm gonna go since 2021. His attempts, rushing attempts, 139, 165, 157, 150. He's had at least 600 yards. Two of those seasons over 700 yards. This year he has 88 rushing attempts. It's week 14, so we're way more. We're well over halfway through the season, and I mean, 3 out of those 4 seasons, he only played 15 games. So, and he's at 13 games played right now. So 2 less games so far, and he's basically halved his rushing attempts. Like, I think that's ridiculous. That's a huge thing. And I mean, I've brought it up before, but those numbers are insane. He has half the rushing yards he has basically averaged the last 4 years before this, half the rushing attempts. And that's basically a full season worth of the games on average for him. So like this is I don't get why they're not running using his legs. Like it takes so much away from this offense. It would help the run game. It would help the pass game. It just no one has to respect Jalen Hurts' legs because he's not using them and he's not a pocket passer whatsoever. And I mean his decision making this year I think has been questionable. I think this game the raw turnover stats definitely do not paint the full picture. I think that, I mean, the last interception was just like an insane play. Like Cam Hart barely gets his fingers on it, and then a one-handed interception. Like Devonta Smith just falling over somehow. Like that was not on Jalen Hurts. So there's definitely some things that weren't his fault in this game, but I just feel like he doesn't look comfortable. He doesn't look loose. He's not playing good football. And I don't know how, again, you need your quarterback to win you games in the playoffs. And he did that last year, but I just don't see that happening this year. And this defense still looks good, but it's not as good as last year. And it just feels like they're so vulnerable and they're going to be an easy out in the first round at this point. It just seems like it reminds me of 2 years ago all over again.
It looks like all brand new to him. Why am I not using my legs? Why do I have to pass 45 times in a game? Like this is something he's never done in his entire career, even collegiately. And now you come in with a new offensive coordinator trying to rewrite the book, and it makes zero sense. Like I don't think this game was on the offensive coordinator. The turnovers were crazy, and it's just a series of unfortunate events. But up to this point, like the offense has looked completely different. And sure, he needs some of the blame, but it also comes from that offensive line, like not having the proper rushing lanes for Jalen Hurts to really get in because he's under pressure a ton of the time and he can't really use his legs. So it's just a combination of so many things, and it's really unfortunate to see the decline of this team because they barely lost anyone in the off season. It's just they need a reshift, they need to get healthy, and I think it's as simple as that. But they're going up against the Raiders this week. They play the Commanders twice at one of these wild card teams. They're very experienced. I wouldn't count them out just yet. I still think they're very dangerous, but it does not look good, and I don't think that they're going to win the Super Bowl again this year.
100%. I mean, this just proves that Nick Sirianni's not a good head coach because they make the Super Bowl and then their offensive and defensive coordinators get hired to be head coaches and they're currently still head coaches. Like I clearly benefiting from great minds, great leaders, not just offensive, defensive mind, great leaders. And then last year or the year after that, they have to hire new guys. They're not the same level of like talent at those coordinator positions. Terrible disaster. Then this last year, you have Vic Fangio, who's a great defensive coordinator, and you have Kellen Moore, who's now a head coach. And now this year, you don't have that guy in the offensive room, and it's an absolute disaster again. Like, I just think that it shows that Nick Sirianni offers literally nothing. He is a non factor to this team. It is insane. Like, I feel like not very little has changed in the last 4 seasons aside from those coordinator positions. And Nick Sirianni, I feel like, is the biggest like the biggest red flag. Like it just he's not a good head coach, and I think that that like up and down just proves it. Like he needs good coordinators, and when he doesn't have them, and when he doesn't luck into hiring them, he doesn't have them. I saw today though that I saw a report that the Eagles might be looking for a quarterback in the second round this year.
They
Jalen Hurts to the New Orleans, reunite with Kellen Moore.
Jalen has a good contract with the Eagles, and they love him,
It
so
would be hard to get off that.
Doug Peterson, who won a Super Bowl for the Eagles, can get fired, who I think is a better coach than Sirianni, then Sirianni should absolutely be on the chopping block too.
I mean, even if they make the playoffs and lose in the first round, I think he's gone. He should be. I mean, yeah, I don't know. And then the other side, one last thing, just Justin Herbert. I do not think he should play next week. Like, my God, that was bad. That was so bad. I felt bad for him, but also like, oh my God, literally between every single play, he's just holding his hand. Like that does. It looks so bad. It looks so painful. And at this point, like yes, you're in a very tight playoff race, but if you play Justin Herbert and he like makes this worse, like your season's fully over. Like you play the Chiefs next week, I don't think Herbert should play in that game.
Play the Broncos, which is going to be a huge game, but at the same time, it's only a huge game if you win out. So
Yeah.
still place, but yeah, it's tough. I mean, you only have 4 weeks left in the season. I don't think he should play, but I understand why he is playing, and it makes sense for the now. Just for the future, it is very up in the air, and I think Herbert is very stubborn, and I
He's
think
so tough, man. Like the
yeah,
stuff he's played through in the past.
yeah, I think he'll play. I think he'll play through it. It's just I don't think it's going to be a good look for the Chargers.
The other thing is we both thought Trey Lance played great in the preseason,
Yeah,
and like he is just sitting back there. I don't know, like I feel like Lance at this point is not going to be worse than Herbert. Like it just looks like the hand is causing him so much pain and is taking so much away from his game. Like it just doesn't seem worth it. We'll get to that in a bit, though. We will talk about the Chargers again. Let's move on, Joseph. That was a good chat. Falcons Buccaneers is Thursday night football this week, Joseph.
this game, I absolutely love that Mike Evans is back in this game.
It's exciting.
Because Kuka has been the number one for the last 6 weeks. He's gotten so many targets, but they've all been terrible targets, and a combination of him dropping the ball with the ball sailing over his head. It's not been a good look. So alleviate that pressure, get the veteran in, and I think Kuka has a big time game against the Falcons secondary. And look, Baker doesn't look right. I think he's playing extremely injured, but at the same time, Atlanta has nothing to offer. Drake London is probably not going to play in this game. He did not practice today.
He might not play again this season.
Kirk Cousins is your backup. There is no passing attack on this team. And we know that the Buccaneers can stop the run first and foremost. So Baker is going to find a way to put up a couple points. And I think that's all he needs on this Thursday night football matchup to really beat the Falcons. And I think that's exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah. The Bucks. I mean, they almost lost to the Falcons week 1, but they did not. And this Falcons team looks a lot worse than they did in week 1. You don't have Michael Penix. You don't have Drake London. And I mean, this Bucks team, to be fair, also, maybe they don't look as bad as they did in week one, but they look worse than they did at the start of the season for sure. I don't know if you can tell, but Joseph does have Egbuka on his fantasy team. But yes, I think it will help. I mean, Mike Evans is going to take some pressure off because you can't, like, Mike Evans is their deep threat. And if he's back in this game, like, you're going to have to respect that deep ball, and that just opens up that middle of the field where Igbuka is going to work. So that's definitely going to help. And in general, this Falcons defense is just not that good. They were overrated earlier in the season, and then I mean they just haven't really been able to make any sort of noise against any single team. Like I mean the Seahawks destroyed them last week, and it wasn't even like it was a 30-point loss basically. Like I don't know. They just have no juice at this point. Kirk Cousins is an absolute stone in the pocket. The Bucks, if nothing else, have a great run defense, so it's gonna fall onto Kirk Cousins here. So I've got the Bucks as well because I just don't see how the Falcons keep up at all. All right, next game, Joseph. I feel like this is a bad week. We pretty much agree on every game, so it might be a little bit redundant here. But next up, Ravens Bengals.
Look, to everyone else's opinion, I don't think that Joe Burrow had a terrible game, and it was just a series of unfortunate events where Christian Benford makes an incredible pick six. That ball was high, and he jumped big time. And then the second interception, the ball gets tipped. And so I think Joe Burrow had a flawless game before that.
The offense put up 37 points. Like
Exactly. Like everyone saying, "Oh, Joe Burrow looked terrible." What are we looking at? Josh Allen just had a beast of a run, and he kept them in that game in the snow. But I still think the Bengals offense is firing on all cylinders, and I think that they can come back against the Ravens and beat them again just like they did on Thanksgiving. And Lamar, I mean, I would say this is a bounce back week for him because he's playing against a really bad defense. But 2 weeks ago, he was turning the football over like 5 or 6 times against this team and made them look like an elite defense. So I think that's what's going to happen again. They need a big time performance from Derrick Henry. They need to give him at least 20 to 25 touches. And I don't think that Todd Monken's going to do that. I think he wants to force feed Lamar Jackson the ball rushing and force feed guys like Isaiah Likely and Zay Flowers. And that's going to play right into the hands of the Bengals. So the Bengals not having T. Higgins is going to hurt them a little bit, but I don't think too much for them to lose this game. So I think the Bengals are going to win.
Yoshi Voss has been great in relief of these two top receivers for the Bengals, and Joe Burrow's just looked fantastic. I mean, he's brought life back into this offense. I think that they're going to be able to run the ball in this game as well. This Ravens defense is very vulnerable, especially in that running defense. So Bengals are going to be able to run the ball. It takes a bit off the shoulders of Joe Burrow. I've got the Bengals in this one too. I just think Joe Burrow is playing fantastic since he's been back from that toe injury, and Lamar just looks like a shell of himself right now. I think he's playing hurt. I think he's been playing hurt for weeks and weeks and weeks, and he's we're just not going to see peak Lamar for the rest of the season. So the Bengals just feel like, I mean, they're not good, but they're also just kind of a team where that offense is super high powered, and it just doesn't feel like the Ravens have the capacity to keep up with that at the moment. All right, next game here, Joseph. Bills Patriots, possibly the biggest game of the week. Classic. I mean, no one thought this was going to be a good game, I would say, in uh, whenever they made the schedule, May, but like it is sad. They could have flexed this a couple weeks ago for sure into Sunday Night Football, which is Cowboys Vikings. So, yay.
I just think that the Patriots coming off their bye last week, they're going to be so healthy, so fresh. I think they're getting all their troops back, especially on the wide receiver core. And I think Drake May is just going to have a field day. I think he's at home, and Travion Henderson is there looking into full form, which he wasn't the first time these teams met. And I think he's going to take the top off this rushing defense that is not very good. And I think Drake May takes care of the football better than Josh Allen does, and the Patriots defense create more turnovers than the Bills do. So I think the turnover margin is going to be in the Patriots' favor, and I just trust that Josh Allen is going to make more mistakes than Drake May is because Drake May is clearly the best quarterback in the NFL right now. And Josh Allen, although he's been elite yet again, he's still had some problems. And it's really tough because I think now most of the pressure is on the Buffalo Bills because the Ravens and the Chiefs are out of it. Both teams are probably not making the playoffs, and everyone just assumes that this is going to be an easy road in the AFC for the Bills to take because they've been so good. But if you have teams like the Patriots, like the Broncos, in your way, you have to beat these teams. I don't think that Josh Allen is going to do it because I think both of those teams are clearly better than the Bills. So I think that the Bills have a lot more to lose than the Patriots do, even though the Patriots have the better record. And I think that that's why the Patriots are going to win this game.
Yeah, I've got the Patriots as well, shockingly. But I mean, one, they can clinch the playoffs if they win this week, I'm pretty sure. So that's a huge motivator. So, yeah, exactly. So that's a huge motivator as well. Puts them one step closer to that one seed. And yeah, the Bills again, them and the Lions, they're just that the upper class of that middle tier of NFL teams this year because they can beat the bad teams and they beat up on the bad teams, but at the same time, I mean, they've looked worse against bad teams than the Lions, honestly, and I think that their offense feels inconsistent and their defense looks really bad this year, and the Patriots just feel like a team that they played them the first time and it was a close game, but honestly, the Patriots are a better team than they were the first time they played. I 100% agree with that. And like Drake May is on fire. He's going to put the ball where it needs to be. I think they're going to put up points and this Patriots defense is just good enough to get some stops when they need it and I just don't see the the Bills definitely have the capacity to keep up with the Patriots, but at the same time, they're a lot more inconsistent and their opposition is going to be a lot tougher than what the Patriots offense is going to face. So I just feel like the Patriots are going to be able to hold on to a lead here and win this game. Next up, we've got the Chargers and the Chiefs, Joseph.
I think Herbert, 1 week removed from that injury again, I think is going to be a really good sign, and I think he's going to get back on point. He plays really well against the Chiefs historically, and I think that yeah, they just have a better offense even with a hurt Justin Herbert than the Chiefs do. Like the Chiefs offense looks completely discombobulated and yes, they went up against the best defense in the league in the Houston Texans, but the Chargers are not far from the Texans defensively. They can make those quarterbacks on the other side really look flustered and lost and Patrick Mahomes really looks flustered and lost in this offense, especially when there's beating pressure coming down in his face. I think that the back end for the Chargers, they can cover these wide receivers really, really well, and Mahomes is just going to have nowhere to go with the football. So I think defensively, the Chargers are going to win this game, and I think Herbert is going to do just enough to put points on the board, and I think he's going to have a bounce back week and really solidify his status as an elite quarterback against the team who in the division has beat them in the past historically for a long period of time. So no more, I think they sweep the series in this season and they win against the Chiefs.
I've got the Chargers in this one too. But I really don't think Justin Herbert should play in this game. I hope he doesn't play in this game. Regardless, though, I don't know if the Chiefs care anymore. Like I feel like Mahomes is going to go out there. He's going to be doing the bare minimum. He doesn't care. They're basically out of the playoffs, and that just gives the Chargers a leg up in that way. Their defense is just also looking fantastic right now. Jesse Minter is doing a great job coaching that unit, and I mean, I think guys like Khalil Mack, Derwin James, their veterans are playing fantastic football right now, and it's just leading to wins. I think that even if you put Trey Lance in this game, this rushing game, now that you have Hampton back with Vidal, like you have two very good running backs you can rely on here. Trey Lance can use his legs. Trey Lance can sparingly throw the football. Like I think that it's worth it to sit Herbert in this game. They play the Cowboys the week after. Honestly, that's another game where I think you can easily sit Herbert. Like just let his hand heal, man. Like I know he's tough and I know he wants to play and I know that like him and Jim Harbaugh are like best friends, but like just let the hand heal a little bit, man. Like it looked I just felt bad for him, but regardless, I just think this Chargers team is on a heater right now, especially defensively, especially in that run game, and I just do not think the Chiefs care. There's a lot going wrong with that Kansas City team, and I feel like they're just kind of ready to roll over and play dead at this point in the season. Next up here, the Colts and the Seahawks. Philip Rivers returned to the NFL.
The Seahawks just look perfect. I know they went up against the Falcons and maybe they have a little stiffer competition this week, but to no avail. I think yeah, Sam Darnold is going to completely feast on this depleted secondary that the Colts present, and JSN's going to have. I think he has like 40% or 60% of their like receiving yards in the game.
Probably.
It's
The
crazy.
last 2 weeks have probably dropped that number slightly, but
So against the Falcons, but
but only 100 yards, or not even 92, I think.
Yeah, I think the Colts. Mike McDonald is going to do enough defensively where Philip Rivers is going to have nowhere to go, and especially up the middle, Leonard Williams and Byron Murphy are just going to have a feast. Like it's going to be no contest, and all Philip Rivers will have is the dump off. And I think that the secondary, Nick Evan Worry, shout out to this guy, man. He has been
One of the most insane games you've ever seen.
he is crazy, and I think he's going to eat up those dump offs and just completely feast on guys like Jonathan Taylor and Tyler Warren in the backfield. And yeah, give me the Seahawks pretty easily.
That pick, I mean, I remember when the Seahawks drafted DK Metcalf in 2018, 2019. Like, I remember I wasn't watching the draft, but I remember getting the notification and being so happy. And I feel like that's exactly what I thought about Eamon Warrior. It was like, again, it wasn't really a position of need, but like just an absolute athletic freak. And he's just perfect for Mike McDonald's defense. Like, he is the Kyle Hamilton. He doesn't really have the same skill set, I would say, as Kyle Hamilton, but he plays that same role and he plays it well. And I mean, the Seahawks are going to destroy the Colts in this game. I don't think there's really any chances. Colts defense has not been playing well, and like I don't think the Seahawks don't have to blitz to get pressure, but honestly, like just blitz the absolute shit out of Philip Rivers. Like, why not? He's not going to be able to escape pressure. Like, blitz six guys every single play. I don't think he's going to kill you through the air. And Jonathan Taylor's not like an elite receiving back. They don't have an elite receiving option out of the backfield. Like, why not? Is my opinion. At least at the start of the game, even if you back off a little bit, like rattle him at the start of the game, lay some hits into him. Like, I don't know, man. Philip Rivers genuinely might like I don't know. I feel like you're pretty by the time you get to like 44, 45, I feel like you're getting like fragile. And like the videos at a camp, man, that guy does not look ready to play in an NFL game this week. But yeah, it doesn't matter what the offense does. I will say we haven't really talked about the Seahawks. Sam Darnold is terrifying me right now as a Seahawks fan. He is not playing good football in my opinion right now, and I think that ever since the Rams game, like his well, I think he's leading the league in turnovers and also turnover worthy plays, and I don't like that. I don't like that as a Seahawks fan. But again, I just don't think it matters in this game at all. So I still think Seattle will win. I think they'll win by a lot, and I think that like you're gonna see some big plays on both sides from the Colts. Do you think they get another shutout this week? It's possible. All right, I like that. That's a good prediction. That would be exciting. All right, a few more games here. Packers Broncos. This is another good game.
Take the Broncos just because I still don't trust the Packers passing attack.
It's still Toyotathon.
It's Denver's defense. It's just so legit, and their secondary. I don't care if they have Sertan or not. It's incredible, and like they're coming off a bye, and they didn't really have the greatest game against the Commanders, but at the same time, this defense is still really legit. I think it's going to rattle Jordan Love, and I also think that Bo Nix is going to get rattled game, but they're going to find a way against this Packers defense to at least try and run the football with RJ Harvey, try and pass the football to Cortland Sutton. How to win football games is what I'm trying to say, and I think the Packers have one clear way of dominating you, which is just passing the football and airing it out. And if the Broncos take that away from them, I think that the Broncos can easily win this game. Find a way offensively to put points on the board. It's going to be extremely ugly. It's not going to be pretty from Bo Nix, but I think he'll find a way to win this game and very easily be 12-2 at home.
Yeah, I also have the Broncos. This is a really hard game, man. I don't really know where to go, but I got to ride with my dogs, the Broncos. They've been my team since before the season, so I can't let them down now. And yeah, I think that defense is massive. Like they're just not going to give up those big plays to Christian Watson that you've seen in the in like the Bears game, the Lions game the last couple weeks. And then excuse me, on the other side of the ball, like their offense has just become it's so much more consistent. I think that they've been a lot better, especially the last couple weeks when they've targeted Cortland Sutton a bit more. Their run game seems to be coming on. I think RJ Harvey looks like a guy that you have Tyler Beatty as well who's making some plays. So I think they're a bit more cohesive on both sides of the ball. They feel like they're more consistent overall. I feel like these are two teams who have kind of had a similar arc this season, but I feel like the highs of the Broncos, especially on that defense, are higher than the highs of the Packers. And the Broncos, they're much better at playing that slow, methodical style of football. And I think if they make the Packers play that kind of football, which I think they will, they'll win this game. All right. Lions, Rams, Joseph.
I think the Rams are very, very legit still, and I think that they have a very good running back duo in Kyron Williams and Blake Corum that will at least attempt to shut down this Lions, defense against the run. But if that fails, I mean, Matthew Stafford's one of the best quarterbacks in the league, and he probably has Devontae Adams in this game and Puka Nakua. So why not? Puka went completely ballistic last week against the Cardinals.
Stafford, well, I feel like that whole Rams team was pissed.
So I think that's what's going to happen again. And I don't. I think the Rams match up really well against the Lions statistically. Ever since that trade that happened between those two teams, the Rams have won out that opposition. And yeah, I just think that the Lions are in a very, very bad spot. And I think that up the middle, Byron Young and Braden Fisk can shut down that run. And when that happens, it's going to be a done deal. And shout out to their corners. Emmanuel Forbes and Kobe Durant are very good corners who need a lot of flowers. And we shit on Emmanuel Forbes when he was in
Nah,
Washington.
Emmanuel DeForbes still deserves to be shit on. I'll give Kobe Durant his flowers.
He's bounced back very well.
Nah, no.
The Rams very, very
No, Forbes is definitely looking a lot better than Washington. I think he's a bit inconsistent at this point, but playing much better. I want to pick the Lions so bad in this, but I can't, man. They're not good against good teams, and this is a good team on both sides of the ball. I mean, I think this is a team that can shut down, especially the run game with Jameer Gibbs, but the passing game with Jameer Gibbs. And I feel like, yes, you've seen some of these other guys get involved a bit more. You've seen Jamison Williams get involved a bit more. Amon-Ra St. Brown. Oh, I guess he's always involved. But you've seen other guys like Tisla a little bit. But, like, I think you need a lot of that for this Lions team to have a chance because they're going to give up 30 points in this game easily. And I just like we've seen this offense be so inconsistent, especially against like better defenses. And I just think that's exactly the trend that's going to continue. They're the upper middle class right now, and the Rams are just the upper class. So the Lions, I honestly don't even think this game will be close just because of what we've seen. Like this could be a 10-point game pretty easy. Okay, two more games, Joseph. The insanely exciting primetime matchups. Oh boy, I cannot wait to sit in front of my TV. Sunday and Monday night this week, Joseph, and Thursday night. Oh boy, Cowboys Vikings Sunday night football. I mean, what more could you want? Spicy. I like it.
last week, and I sang that phrase at the beginning of the show. But
You believe in nine. That's all it is.
shutout against the Commanders, and I know it's against the Commanders. But JJ McCarthy looked good. He didn't look great, but he looked good against a very bad defense, and that's exactly what the Cowboys are presenting. A very, very bad defense. And sure, the Cowboys can combat that with incredible offense, but I think Brian Flores is going to find a way to create a couple turnovers, especially if CeeDee Lamb is not playing in this game, which I don't think he will be or he should be because that was a very serious concussion. And I think that, the Vikings have enough offensive firepower against this terrible Cowboys defense for JJ McCarthy to look good again. So I love the matchup defensively. I think Brian Flores will find a way to at least shut down the Cowboys to 25 points. Can JJ McCarthy score 30 again like he did last week against the Commanders? I think that the Cowboys have a worse defense than the Commanders do, and I think that that's all to be said. So give me the Vikings pretty easily, and I think JJ is gonna look pretty good in this one.
I've got the Cowboys in this one. One, as someone who has CeeDee Lamb on his fantasy team, I have watched a lot of videos about this. He is playing this week. I'm 90% sure. He logged a limited practice today. He This is just some medical stuff. This interests me, but I was watching a video. Shout out Fantasy Docs, does a great job on Instagram. But fencing response, which is what he showed when he like put his arms up at the end, doesn't actually correlate to longer recovery times for concussions. He was in a limited practice. He was on his phone like right after the game, so I think that from that you can assume like the symptoms are fairly minimal. So I'm like 90% sure he'll play Sunday night. As long as he logs, I think he has to log a full practice tomorrow to get out of concussion protocol. But I'm fairly certain he's playing. It seems like he's at least trending towards playing. But regardless, I don't trust JJ McCarthy. I think the Cowboys defense is far better than the Commanders just because at the very least with Quinnen Williams, their run defense has significantly improved and I think that a big reason they won that game in Washington was the run game and I just don't see them being able to run the football the way they did in Washington and I think Dak Prescott's playing at an MVP level right now. He's going to carve up that Minnesota defense in my opinion that is not overall playing that well. And JJ McCarthy, I think he's had two good games this season, and then he's had a bunch of games where he looks like almost incompetent. So I'm gonna go with the former is what we get out of 9 this weekend. But yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting matchup. I just Dak's at an MVP level right now. Give me the MVP. Okay, last game. Joseph, your Steelers again. The Dolphins. Monday Night Football. What a game.
My birthday on Monday and my Steelers play, so I think that's it. So
True. Just drink a ton.
I'm taking the Steelers. I don't trust the Dolphins, and yes, they're 6-7, and they look very very good. But I mean, at the end of the day, at the end of the day, like the Steelers have a much better defense than the Dolphins do, and I think that this is the perfect opportunity for the momentum to continue for the Steelers offense. Get DK Metcalf involved, please. Like get him at least 15 targets.
This is
Like
the game to do it, man.
absolutely terrible for the Dolphins. They have looked good offensively. Jalen Waddle has been balling out of his mind, and Devon Achane is one of the best running backs in football. But to no avail, and that defense is terrible. So I think that the Steelers defense will find a way at home to get a couple stops, and then offensively, you just have to score points every single time against the Dolphins, and I don't think that that's hard to do. So give me the Steelers. This is a must-win. They have a lot more to prove than the Dolphins do. Their chances are very, very minimal to make the playoffs are the Dolphins. So give me the Steelers. They have a lot more riding on this game, and they should win this game.
I've got the Steelers as well. I mean, I think yeah, I don't know. The Dolphins, they've been playing really well, especially offensively, but I think the Steelers are just smart. They're going to know how to shut down this offense at least enough to win this game because I think that all you have to do is key in on Devon Achane, and I think Tua's going to make enough mistakes to win you this game. I mean, they've been playing better, and Tua's been throwing less than 25 passes. Like, Mike McDaniels does not want this guy throwing the football. And I think the Steelers are smart enough. Mike Tomlin is smart enough, this defense, to get like just key in on Achane, make sure he does nothing in this game, and say Tua go out there and win it. And I just do not trust Tua to do that right now. And I agree, this defense for the Dolphins is terrible. I think they can run the ball a ton in this game. Jalen Warren, Kenneth Gainwell out of the backfield too, I think could have a big game again this week. So I just think the Steelers offense has looked better and matches up well with this Miami defense. And this Miami defense just sucks. Like Metcalf's going to be able to have some favorable matchups in this game. I think the run game matches up well with Miami. So I think Pittsburgh just feels like a team who can take control of this game early, and then like you're not gonna trust Tua to get a comeback here. Okay, that does it for our preview here, Joseph. Oh no, hardball's lock of the week. Before we get to another brand new segment, we are. Oh man, it is bad, man. Any team we pick loses. This is bad football, but or bad predictions of football. But Joseph, give me your pick this week.
At this point, give me the spices. Give me the Vikings over the Cowboys. I trust JJ. I trust Nine. We're gonna ride until we're in this to the grave.
9.
Yeah, I could have gone with so many other games, and I wanted to, but I'm taking the Vikings over the Cowboys. I think Sunday Night Football at home, they're gonna find a way to
Gives
win.
you a reason to watch too.
Yeah, I trust you. I think you're gonna get Nine in the right spot against a terrible defense, and he's gonna go for 350 and 3 touchdowns, and Jefferson's gonna be 125 and 2 touchdowns. So yeah, give me give me
That would
give me
probably total his yardage the last like 5 weeks.
the Vikings Cowboys. I got nothing to
Mm.
lose.
I like it. It's fun. Who cares? I mean, we both have losing records. This is awful. It's so bad. I feel like, we do try our best to pick games that are close, but like even then, I feel like it's bad. You'd think we'd have some sort of grasp, but this is not our year. And last year, I don't think was either. I don't think we had good records last year either. But we'll keep doing it because it's fun. I've got the Bengals over the Ravens. I mean, I just like we said, Joe Burrow is playing fantastic football. This Ravens defense does not look good. I think they're going to put up a ton of points, and the shell of Lamar Jackson that we're seeing right now just can't do that. It doesn't feel like so. Give me the Bengals in this one. Big lock. Good lock. Get me back. I'm only two under 500, so we just need 2 games, and I can get back to that sweet 500. All right. And our new segment. I don't know. I don't know. I'm sure we'll bring back our top 5 best balls at some point this season, but it was getting old. It was getting redundant. So we're doing some fun little segments this week. We've got the NFL stock market. You've seen it before, but we're gonna be talking about some players, some teams who we're high on, big stock. We're buying their stock. We've got some teams where we're selling. We're selling all their stock. We're out on them. And then we've got some stocks that are fluctuating, some volatile stocks, you know? Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad. We're not necessarily sure what we need to do with those stocks. So why don't we start off? What are you buying right now, Joseph?
I don't think anyone can beat this team after the Sunday night performance that they put on display.
Nasty.
This defense is. I don't care how CJ Stroud looks. I don't care how they run the football or how they get Nico Collins involved. It all starts with that defense, and I don't think any team in the league, maybe even only the Cowboys, but they're probably not even going to be in the playoffs, and they're out of conference team. So you know what? Give me the Texans. They can go up against any AFC opponent and shut down their offense, and it just makes it so much easier for CJ Stroud to be like, you know what? I don't have to score points on this possession. He plays free. He plays loose with the football. Not too loose that he's turning the football over, but loose enough where there's not so much pressure on him. And I think he's just playing a freestyle football that I love to see. So CJ's playing really, really good, but this defense is second to none, and I'm buying all in. I don't think anyone can lose against can win against this team on any given Sunday. So the Texans are the team to beat for me. I'm all in.
I love it. I mean, I think the biggest thing for this Texans team is the offense is finally caught up. They're playing good football. So, good sign for them. I'm buying in on Mike McDaniel. I can't believe that is I'm saying this right now. This has been an episode of going back on a lot of takes, but he's truly, in my opinion, saving his job. Like the Dolphins have been competitive these last few weeks. Their offense has been looking good, and I think they've realized that Tua's not the guy. They're playing around Tua, but you're seeing the offensive genius of Mike McDaniel. Oh my God, there's too many Mike Micks in the league. It's confusing me. At least Mike McCarthy's gone, but Mike McDaniel, like you've seen the creativity with the run game. Achan's been insane the last couple weeks, and I mean, it just proves that Tua truly was the biggest issue with this team. Obviously, there's still a lot of talent issues with this roster, but I think that Mike McDaniel has been coaching well enough and proving to like ownership that he deserves to keep this job. They fired their general manager. They'll bring someone in that's a bit more aligned with Mike McDaniel, and I think that they'll move forward because he is that valuable as an offensive mind. It's just you need to find a quarterback who can work with his system.
He said because he's relied on the run game, and Devon Achan has been one of the best running backs in the league, and him and Waddle are the cornerstones of the team. But at the same time, that's all you have. So it starts with that franchise quarterback, but you have a lot more pieces to build off of. So McDaniels has to be a complete genius for years to come if he wants to keep this job because this is a team where they're susceptible to being very, very bad for very long because they have way too many holes. So he's saving his job for now. I want to see what he does with this team in the future.
I agree. There's some other issues that he's also. I mean, he's fighting against the soft. I think the fact that they're playing so competitive recently kind of beats those soft allegations. But going forward, you got to see what that looks like. But for the very least, I think he will remain the Dolphins head coach next season. All right, Joseph. Who are you selling? What stock are you selling?
I'm done. And I know it's only been one bad week, but after what I saw after CeeDee Lamb goes out and Ryan Flournoy is the number one with like 9 catches and 112 yards and a touchdown, it's like, no, that can't happen. George Pickens looked lazy out there. He looked like he didn't care. He should have easily came back to that ball on DJ Chark guarding him, and he didn't. And I think George you're going into the offseason being a free agent and you're going up against Jerry Jones. And those two things, George Pickens with Jerry Jones, like Jerry wants to franchise tag him very easily. And I don't think George Pickens wants that. He wants to get paid $35 million, but yet he's making these boneheaded moves and boneheaded plays where when the opportunity presents himself to be the number one, he's falling and he's just being lazy, just like he did in Pittsburgh. Like ever since he was a rookie in Pittsburgh, he was the number one guy. Like he was the number one wide receiver, and he just did not live up to the hype. And we blamed it on the quarterback. And he gets an elite quarterback in Dak Prescott. He's putting up career numbers. He's second in the league or third in the league now in receiving yards. But it's just like the effort is not there anymore. You don't see it from George Pickens, and he's going into free agency being like, oh, I need to move on from a different team. And I don't think teams want to bring that cancer in the locker room. So not only am I selling on him like talent wise and production wise, I don't know if there's a team in the NFL that wants this guy in their locker room. So I'm selling all my stocks in George Pickens. I can see the writing on the wall being a Steelers fan, and I just don't like what I see despite having career numbers for him.
Yeah. I mean, he's gonna end up Cleveland or something at this point, man, because they'll pay him the money. But I guess maybe not Cleveland because they have no cap space. But you know what I mean. Like he's gonna end up in some terrible team, and he's gonna realize, wait a minute, I could have played with Dak Prescott, and added like instead I'm playing with like fucking Justin Fields or something. So it's gonna be interesting. But yeah, he's way ahead of his skis. His personality is way bigger than his like resume, and I think that that's something that a lot of people don't want to deal with. And I think that Jerry Jones is 100% one of those guys who's not going to mess around with that kind of thing. And I mean, you saw that with Micah Parsons. I mean, he was a guy who kind of had that same thing, podcasting all the time, ridiculous in the or like during the season and stuff. And Jerry Jones said, "I don't want to deal with that," and shipped him out the door. So definitely possible for George Pickens there. For me, my falling stock is Jalen Hurts. I am very out on this guy right now. I know maybe all those turnovers weren't 100% his fault, but I just feel like he's playing terribly this year. And I don't know how much of that is on Kevin Patullo and that as the offensive coordinator in Philly, but he just does not look like the guy we've seen in the past. And it's really worrying me about his future because he looks indecisive. He's not making throws. He's not pushing the ball deep down the field consistently. And he's not using his legs. Like, I just don't know, especially when he's not using his legs, I just don't know what he offers you as a complete quarterback. Like he's not a pocket passer. You're missing a huge element of his game this year, and it just feels like I just don't know what to do with Jalen Hurts at this point. He doesn't feel like a quarterback right now that can lead an elite offense.
I still think he's going to get a chip with the hype. I mean, I know it's been a very rough sample size, but like you have to look at the offensive coordinator and say, you know what, this is just not working. He's not utilizing his legs and he's not letting Jalen be Jalen. So come playoff time, I think the the leash is going to be taken off, and I think he's going to find a way to utilize his legs in January, and he's going to play at least one home game. And with Jalen Hurts being a Super Bowl champion, I want to see what he does with that one home playoff game and see what happens. So I'm gonna sell it if he completely bombs that game, but I still have faith that he's gonna put on a good performance in the playoffs.
Yeah. I hope so, man. I just don't know. It looks so bad right now. And I mean, I love Jalen Hurts. I will if he starts playing again, I'm buying all his stock again. Don't get me wrong, but right now I feel like I want to dump all my shares. I can't back him anymore. Maybe that makes me a fake fan. I don't know, but it just doesn't look good right now. All right, Joseph, volatile. This is some stock. You don't know what you're doing with this stock.
Bryce Young, and I wanted to pick the Panthers team, but it just has to do with Bryce Young. Like I know what I'm getting with the Colts. I know I'm getting terrible defense, and Dave Canales is just putting up really good offensive production. But like with Bryce Young, I I love him so much just because he was the first overall pick in that first year. Everyone was saying that he was a complete bust because they're looking at CJ Stroud with that rookie year and saying, "Wow, why didn't Bryce do that?" All that stuff. And then he comes into his second year. In the second half of the season, he looks like an elite quarterback. Now it's just like hit or miss. Like he's having really great games or really bad games. And last week I thought was a pretty good game. A couple weeks ago he was absolutely terrible. Like in the middle of the season, he looks really good. Towards the end of the don't know how I feel about this guy. And it's not because I don't trust him talent wise. I don't know if it's his talent, if it's his height, or if it's like the other guys around him just aren't as talented. Because outside of Ted McMillan, what are you really working with? Yes, they have an incredible run game with Rico Dowdle and Chuba Hubbard combined, but is his offensive line really good? Do they have a number two wide receiver? Is this defense helping Bryce Young? They're 7-6 right now with a really good head coach. So I don't know if it's coaching or if it's the players playing up to the hype. Like Carolina confuses me, but Bryce Young confuses me more because I don't know who he is as a quarterback. And maybe I'm blindsided because of my love for Bryce Young and I feel bad for the guy. But at the same time, I don't know if this is the guy over the next 5 years. He has a winning record and he's making all the winning plays, but could this team take a bigger leap without Bryce Young? Or are they going to take a regression back if they lose him? I have no idea, and this is a stock that I am very confused about.
Yeah, it's tough to know. I feel like if he was like 3 inches taller, he might be the best quarterback in the league right now. But I don't know if it's just like when he can see the passing lanes good, he has a good game. It's just, yeah, the inconsistency is wild. I mean, the 450 passing yard game to like 150 against the 49ers was a wild swing, and I feel like that just sums it up perfectly. My volatile, I don't know why I wrote the Chargers yesterday. I don't know what I was thinking. I have 7 finals this week, so the brain is fried, but I'm going to go with the Jaguars. I mean, this is just a team who I feel like in my brain, I'm like, this team is not good. And I don't think Trevor Lawrence is good. But they're 9-4 and they're first in their division. And I don't understand it. I feel like I mean, there was a couple weeks ago I was looking at the schedule where the Texans, they let the Texans come back and score a ton of points in the second half and choke that game away. And then the next week they go out, speaking of the Chargers, and beat the Chargers 35-6. Like I don't this team doesn't make any sense. I feel like they're not good, but at the same time they're good. And I don't understand this team at all.
Because like when I hate the Jaguars because I don't like Trevor Lawrence and I don't like their defense. And on paper, this should not be a team who's 9-4, but I guess you have to respect the player way.
And their run game, like they have so many weird things. Like their run game is pretty terrible, but they get big plays. But like snap to snap, it's not very good. And then their defense is pretty terrible, but they get a ton of turnovers. Like it's just weird. I don't really understand this team, and it's like it is truly a team where it's like if everything goes right, they will beat any team in the league. But then also, if everything like if not everything goes right, they could lose to any team in the league. Like they just feel I don't know what to do with them. I don't feel like they're good, but at the same time, I'm like they probably could win a playoff game.
Especially if they put the Chargers back. Like that would be Herbert's injured. Like they've beaten them in the playoffs before with Trevor Lawrence. I have no idea.
Dude, oh man, poor Chargers. But that does it for this episode of the Ball Watchers podcast. Thank you so much for listening. We will be back next week with another episode. Our schedule will be a bit like all over the place, I think, over the next few weeks. It's Christmas and stuff. You never know. We might skip an episode over the holidays. We'll see. Christmas is later this year, so we'll maybe get it in, but no promises for a week every week episode over the holidays. Probably be a last minute decision, I'd imagine. But yeah, we'll be back next week at some point with another episode breaking down week 15 and previewing week 16. Thank you for listening. Make sure you follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Ball Watchers Pod and on YouTube at Ball Watchers. We're streaming every episode now, so make sure you go follow us over there. And we will talk to you next week. Stay up, Ball Watchers.